Well, hey there folks, welcome back once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here. Time for another beer review. In fact, it's time for another Beer Wars video. We're going to do a four-way. Now, if you're brand new to this channel, welcome along to the Hop House. We'll call that sort of like hoppy beer, we like house music. If you like either of those, or both, then give us one of those. Give us a like, share, subscribe to this channel if it sounds like your cup of tea. Okay, this is probably going to be the last video. I've got this and another Beer Wars video that I'm going to physically do before Christmas. We're about a week and a half away from Christmas. I'm staying over in a hotel, so I might do some reviews at various venues, but I'll probably, just thinking now and then next off, I'll probably put this up the week of leading up to Christmas, so you're going to see it a week or so after I've actually recorded it. You get the idea. Right then, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at four beers. It's a Beer Wars video, and they're very much a comparison, as Beer Wars videos should be. There's no point in putting like a best bitter up against a 10% stout. Imperial Stout's not going to work, is it? You know, so they've got to be similar ABV, similar style, that kind of thing. So I wanted to have a look at a beer style that I'm not really that big a fan of, but it is coming up to Christmas. It is the time when you have darker beers, and I thought, ooh, I know two of these, and then I know a third one. Oh, and there's a fourth one as well. Do you want to see one? Okay, so what we're going to look at today are Plum Porters. Plum Porters. Porter's one of my least favourite styles of beer, especially if it's licorice. Those that are regulars to the channel will know I really can't stand licorice. It's just a flavour that makes me want to go, Too many of those shoelace things when I was a kid, I think, and it affected me mind. So I'm not a massive fan of porters. But Plum Porters are okay, and they're quite Christmassy and all that stuff. I know other beer reviewers and other people have done beer advent calendars. Number one, I can't really afford that right now. Number two, I just haven't got the time to do one every day when I'm working 12-hour shifts. So I'd end up having to play catch up and do, advent calendars and batches. So I've not done that. Who knows if I'm still doing beer reviews this time next year? Maybe I'll do one. I don't know. But I have done a few more dark beers coming up. I've got a couple more to upload, and anyway, I'm waffling. Let's crack on with this. So we're looking at Plum Porter. So I've got two that are available sort of nationally in supermarkets at the well-known ones. I've got a third one that's local to me, and I've got a fourth one which is the budget version. Shall I show you? So first up then, probably the most famous of them all, and there's this is the original version, but there's a Grand Reserve and a barrel aged, I don't know, one of them jobby things. It's from Titanic Brewery. I'm sure many people will have had this before. It's been in my beer box. God, it still feels it's condensating because it was very cold out there, but it has been out for a good half an hour. Anyway, there's a Titanic Plum Porter. I'm sure loads of people will know that quite well. And it's coming in at, where's the ABV on it? 4.9%, there it is. So 4.9%, 500ml bottle, Titanic Brewery cap. 500ml bottle, yeah, I got this from Morrison's in the 4 for 3. Next up, oh God, wreck the place, Eddie, just wreck the place. Next, I'm not even had a drink yet. Next one, this is another one. I picked this up also from Morrison's, again in the 4 for 3. And this is from St. Peter's Plum Porter. That's coming in at 5% ABV. Love the St. Peter's bottles, like old apothecary pharmacy bottles, what they used to store medicine in. So it's trying to tell you that beer's medicine. I fell for it. I've had a couple of beers from St. Peter's. I've had a couple on cask. I think I was somewhere and they had it on. I believe they're from Norfolk or Suffolk. Anyway, East Anglia area. So that is their Plum Porter. That's number 2. And I'll try not to smash it into the glass. Number 3 then, I said this was going to be a local one. I'm hoping this is going to be good. So this is from Hobson's Brewery, Hobson's south of Shropshire. And it's their Postman's Plum Porter. And it's a dark Plum Porter coming in also at 5% in a 500ml bottle with the Hobson's bottle cap. Usually Hobson's bottle beers, bar one, are bottle conditioned. So that should be really good. They only bring this out around Christmas time as well. This is like a limited thing. It's not available all year round. So this is sort of their Christmassy beer. So Postman's Plum Porter, looking forward to that. And finally, the cheapo, the knockoff, and you can tell, we're going to Aldi. It's got a Union Jack bottle cap. It's under their Harper's Brewing Company, and it's their Plum Porter. Looks a little bit like Titanic, that, doesn't it? And it's 4.8%, so it's the weakest of the bunch, and that's in a 500ml bottle. It's got plums on it, look. So there you 4 beers. Right, I've got various glassware. The Hobsons goes with the Hobsons and the rest don't, because I haven't got a Titanic glass, I haven't got a St. Peter's, and I certainly don't have a Harper's bloody Brewing Company glass, because they don't exist. Right, let's crack on, let's get them out in the glasses. So the Titanic Plum Porter, the original, I suppose. I don't know if it's the original, certainly the most well known. A little bit of steam arising, can use a purity glass. Remember, this glass doesn't hold head well. I'm not going to fill it all the way to the top. Get the pour on camera, that helps, doesn't it? Right, there you go. So there is a bit more in the glass. There's your beer in the glass. It looks like a dark red ruby, mahogany colour, slightly off-white, almost tan-coloured head. Do a bit of layer vision. I'm going to do this bottle by bottle. Jig, 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 jig. Yeah, looks like it laces okay. We'll twirl it. Do the old twirly swirly. Twirly swirly whirly. Twirly swirly whirly. That looks good. Look at that. Right, St. Peter's, you're up next. This has actually been somewhere a little warmer. I actually got this out earlier and I ended up putting it by a radiator. This is slightly warmer than the others, which probably isn't fair. So this is probably the temperature it should be actually. Put it into my Stonehouse Sidelines glass, that'll do. Want something that's appearance wise, it looks a little darker actually. Looks more Coca-Cola and charcoaly in colour, less of a ruby element to it. Again, sort of a beigey coloured head, bit of lacy vision. Jig, 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 jig. Jig, 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 jig. And again, we'll do the twirly, swirly, whirly jobber. Twirly, swirly, whirly. It's good so far. Next up, the Hobsons, the local jobby effort. Like I say, this might be bottle conditioned. Whoa, a lot of steam rising for that one. I've got a Hobson's glass, look. I've used it before, you know the score. That'll do. Right. This looks the thinnest of the lot. It's 5% ABV, so there's some light bleeding through it as well. Very ruby. That is more like a ruby / Coca-Cola-y colour. Bit of laser vision because it looks flatter than the others. It does look flatter than the others. Maybe I can get some life into it. We jig, 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 jig. And we'll twirl it and swirl it. All that stuff. It's lacing okay. It's just the head is slightly less than the others. If that's something to be worried about or not. Come on, Hobsons. Come on, you bugger. Come on, you bugger. Still quite cold, that one, actually. And then finally, this should hopefully... I'd expect this to be the thinnest, because this is the Aldi jobber. The Aldi jobber and my bobber. I should have put these in ABV order, shouldn't I? But I didn't. My bad. Yeah, that does look like Coca-Cola. It looks about... Oh no, actually. I don't know, the Hobson's looks the thinnest, although it's settled down with a nice head on it now. So lots of carbonation on that. Again, it's quite dark and almost charcoaly Coca-Cola looking, rather than ruby red. Although it's supposed to be a porter, so I'm supposing it's supposed to be dark rather than... It's not a ruby ale, is it? It's a porter, so it's supposed to be bordering on stout colour. Great lacing on that, and twirly, swirly, whirly jobber. That looks great. Harper's Brewing Company, I think they're brewed by Marston's, Carlsberg Marston's as they're called nowadays. So, they, you know, the local sort of regional breweries, they do know how to do the classic styles. It's the new world stuff that they kind of tend to struggle with. Although, you know me, I love a Hobgoblin IPA. Right, so that's what they all look like. It's aroma time. We're going to put that into all of those. All of them there, all of them there, them there, and that one. And we're going to give them a whiff and see what we can sniff. Let's do it. So first of all, the original Titanic Plum Porter. The head's sort of gone a bit. Right, let's go. Getting the plum, getting like a cherry vibe from it. Definitely the plum's big there. Getting a little bit of roasted malt as well. Almost like a blackberry vibe. Doesn't smell licorice. Smells good. I like it. Tiny little bit of like charcoal burnt roastedness from the roasted malt, and then this plum, bit plum, pruny, sort of fig, the dark fruit element that you get in a lot of dark beers. But the plum is coming through. The plum and the blackberry and the fig and all that stuff is really coming through on the aroma. Smells delightful. St. Peter's. There's only the Titanic out of all these that I've had before, by the way. So it's like a triple beer, virgin beer review as well. Ooh. Ooh, that smells chalkier. Bit smokier. Smells more stout-like. Tiny little bit of chocolate in there as well. Roasted malt, espresso, dark chocolate vibe, and the fruit's there. It's a little bit more subdued. Interesting. That tastes more like a porter and a stout. That tastes more adjunky. Smells more, sorry, I haven't tasted them yet. Right, let's get on because we're 11 minutes in. Hobson's Plum Porter, the Christmas edition, the special. Give it a see what we can sniff. That smells good, you know. Yeah, I'm getting some espresso notes, some chalkiness. I'm getting the plum, the plum's there. It's a little sweeter than the other two. Almost blackcurrant as well. It smells a bit not Ribena-ish, but you know, like the blackcurrant. Not the sweetness of Ribena, but tartness, if you know what I mean. Oh, I don't know what I'm on about. Right, let's go for the cheapo rip-off, Aldi knockoff. That smells a lot more chalkier and smokier. That just smells like a stout. Porter more than a stout. It's got that chalkiness. That's the only way I can describe it, because it smells like it's going to taste chalky to me. And that's what I get from a porter. Stouts are usually smokier and more espresso. It's the roasted malt, but it's not as thick a body as a stout. That's how I differentiate porters and stouts. I don't know what I'm on about. I'm a fat lad in the kitchen. I don't brew my own beer or any of that stuff. Right, let's give them a try. We'll go with the original Plum Porter. I'll do it in the order of. So I've got the weak one on the end, which you probably won't get to taste at all if it's rubbish. Not that I'm saying it's rubbish, never had it before. This I've had before, bottoms up down the hatch. Quite a lot of flavour in that. I know this is a personal favourite of a lot of people. It's a huge seller. Getting that plum, but it's not sweet. They always say porters are sweeter than stouts. Obviously not the blooming imperial chocolatey jobbers in adjunky things, but I always find porters a bit more licorice. There's a little bitterness there, real roasted malt bitterness. It's not necessarily licorice, but it's sort of getting there. So it sort of made me pull a little bit of a face, but the plum carries it through. It goes down the middle of the tongue, tiniest sort of bit of sweetness. It is more bitter. It's very fruity. It's got the bitterness down the sides of the tongue from the roasted malt. The back end, you're getting like a dried up tart fruit taste of a plum or a blackcurrant or a fig or something, along with like a spiky, almost twiggy sort of bitterness, but with darker elements to it, coffee elements to the roasted malt. It's an interesting beer. It's very good. It's very rounded. Right, Plum Porters. Never had this before. Bottoms up, down the hatch. Cheers. The body's softer. A little bit fizzier was the Titanic. It's not as intense as the Titanic. It's a bit more subdued. It's smoother, nicer mouthfeel, nicer body, but it's not got as spikiness. The bitterness on the Titanic is more. The sweetness down the middle of the tongue is more. With this one, it's got the same elements to it. It's definitely now at the back end. I'm definitely getting like a spiky, twiggy hot bitterness along with some roasted malt. The plum did come in, and it was a bit more blackcurranty than plum. Unless I'm just not good at picking up the flavour of plum. But it was just smoother. It was just a bit more of a nice, easy ride. You know, you're in cruise control, and you're just like, oh, this is. I don't even drive. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, beer number 3, the Hobson's one. I'm hoping this is going to be splendid, because Hobson's don't usually let me down. I always thought Hobson's were a bit boring and old-fashioned, and then I've had a bit of a love affair with Hobson's in the past year and a bit. And I've come back to their beers, especially the bottle condition ones. Whoa! Ooh. Ooh. That is purely more, wow, roasted malt and twiggy bitterness. There's little inklings of plum going down the middle of the tongue, but that's the most bitter one yet. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. That's woke me up. The body does feel thinner though. I thought it when I poured it. It's a lot lighter in body. It's a bit thinner. It's not necessarily fizzy. The carbonation is nice and soft, but still it's not overly thick in body. It's the thinnest of the 3 so far. I've got the Aldi one to do next. But it's the most bitter. It's the most pungent. The plum is a little. The plum is more subdued. It's there, but it's only just like, hiya, I'm over here. Wow. So when you swallow, the bitterness just go wham down the sides of the tongue. Whoa. Oh, if you like hoppy beer, it's roasted malt hoppiness, that's the one for you. It's a taste that I'm not overly in love with. I like it with a little something else, and it hasn't got that little something else, which is a shame. Right, the cheaper one then, the Aldi one, which if it's lacking in taste after that last one, I'm probably not going to taste this. Bottoms up, down the hatch, cheers. Oh, stand by. Someone's knocking at my door. Someone's ringing the bell.